Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Debbie. And together,
We are the Roundtable Recap. Hey, welcome. We are on a new series. It's called destinationx, and we are reviewing episode 1 of season 1.
yeah, I liked it. What did you think?
Yeah. It actually looks like it's going to be a really great series. I liked the whole concept that basically they wear these like VR goggles so they control what the players can and can't see. And I didn't realize they were going to be traveling around in a bus either to their destinations.
Yeah, there was a lot of things I didn't realize about this whole thing, but the VR goggles, I had to laugh because they said we're going to blindfold you, and they have like biggest blindfolds with those
Yeah.
VR goggles.
Yeah. Yeah, the blindfolds I always think of like, a blindfold. It's just like
Mhm.
a normal plain old
Yeah,
no. Yeah. Welcome to the
yeah,
new century of technology.
yeah. I thought it was a little over the top with that, like,
Yeah.
but. Anyways,
Um
but I like the concept. I like that they are going to be deprived of their senses, so they're not going to know, where they are. They're only going to be
mhm.
fed information that the host is going to give them, and then they have to figure out, where are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good concept.
Yeah, and so their whole pot to win is $250,000, so 250,000. And all they know is basically they're somewhere in Europe, European
Right.
countries.
Yeah.
So it starts off with these contestants. There's 10 of them, and they're on a plane, and like we kind of indicated, they're blindfolded with these VR glasses. And then the host, who is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he comes on and says, okay, now, meet your fellow contestants. So
Mhm.
then that's when they are first able to actually see who else is on the plane with them.
Did any of the contestants stand out to you, or did you have any favorites right off the bat? Or
I don't. Well, I actually thought Josh, just because he was
Mhm.
boasting about his Big Brother win, I thought he would go a little bit further. So that
Yeah,
was a little surprising to me, but I kind of want to see what happens with Mac because she's coming out of the gate strong, and I don't know if that's going to be a
yes,
good or a bad thing. That one kind
yeah.
of stood out to me as far as it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Well, Josh, he only boasted about being a Big Brother winner to outside of the others, but in front of the other contestants, he just said that he went pretty far in Big Brother. He never said that he won.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, he said
yeah,
upheld that. Yeah.
but being a Big Brother fan, I immediately liked him. But then just the strategies that Mac used right off the bat, I liked her. And surprisingly, yeah, I think there's going to be some contestants that are going to be underestimated. But surprisingly, I didn't like Biggie at first. He
Oh,
was the
yeah.
sports bettor. I didn't like him at first, but I kind of warmed up to him throughout the episode. But like I said, I think there's going to be some that we may underestimate. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think for this episode, a lot of them kind of just took the back seat when it came
Hmm.
to standing out. So, yeah, I think obviously as time goes on, then we'll be able to see their personalities and their gameplay going forward.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the first challenge or?
Yeah, the first challenge. So they arrive on a runway and they have these suitcases out in front of them. There's 50 of them. And the goal is to grab the tag off the suitcase and match up whatever's on that tag to the country. Some of them are like quotes, some of them it looks like they're just
Mhm.
pictures. So
Mhm.
whoever gets the most correct, then they get to see the first clue and pick someone that they get to share that clue with.
Right.
So the only one that really had a strategy right now is Mac, where she chose to go with Allie,
What did you think about her comment though about
the
her
most
choice
dumb
in?
or yeah. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay. That's yeah." I
Uh-huh.
mean, she said she's here for the ego, and I mean, obviously Allie doesn't know that that's why
Right.
Mac chose her to be the partner. So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how that
Yeah. I just thought it was
comes to
kind of.
light.
I was just kind of like, whoa. She wanted right off the bat to form an alliance with the dumbest person.
Right.
I'm like, Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I don't know. But in the end, like she says, she can cut that person,
mhm.
and walk away with the money. So, yeah, she's got her focus on the end game.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, she might be a good one for traders if she can
Yeah.
she can cut people and not feel anything because that game gets emotional.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I like. I like right off the bat, there's strategy right off the bat. There's alliances. So yeah,
mhm.
I like the way this is beginning.
Yeah, and ultimately her plan actually works out because it's between them because she gives all of her tags to Allie.
Hmm.
And who's the runner up? It's Biggie because he has
Yeah,
6 out of 6 correct. And
right.
then because Allie actually sees that Rick dropped a tag, so she
Hmm.
grabs that really quick and they get 7 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah, so then Allie chooses Mac to share the clue with, then they hop on the bus from there.
Yeah.
And that's when you see this bus that they're going to be traveling with, which basically blocks out everything from their sight. So they really have no way of knowing which direction or where they're going.
But I liked it was a Biggie who was trying to watch the sun through the
Oh,
shades
oh yeah, yeah.
to
I don't think I've
figure
seen
out
that.
what direction.
Yeah. I mean that might be helpful, I guess. The
Well, he's
rising and
pretty
the
observant.
setting.
I was impressed with his observation skills. So I don't know. I mean, he's an underdog, but I have some hope for him in the long run.
Yeah. So they go to the first clue and
Mhm.
they don't know what it is, but obviously the host he explains that they're at the ancient ruins of Volteria, and they both decide to lie when they come back in because all the other contestants are like, what did you see?" And they say that they see a lot of tourists and that
Right.
they're confused about what they saw. However, Rick kind of is strategic before they go out and see this first clue. And so he kind of convinces them to share the clue with him because it was his tag that he
Hmm.
dropped.
Right.
So I feel like he guilt trips them into
Hmm.
sharing the clue with him. So they do tell Rick what they ultimately saw.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, got to watch out for Rick as well, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, he even said that he was 24 years as a negotiator. So,
Hmm.
yeah, so he's got some skills.
Yeah. But yeah, then they go on to mission 2.
Yeah, to the next challenge.
So in the second part, Allie and Mac become captains of these teams. They're split into two, and they each have to pick one seeker from each team because that
Hmm.
seeker goes up to the floor level because they don't know it, but they're actually in a well.
Hmm.
So the seeker has to go and look for a coin, while the other ones from the team they split up into two teams as well. So it's 4 people from each team, and then teams of 2 from there,
Hmm.
and
Right.
they get a riddle. So like the first pair they get a riddle. And then there's all these little coins, and they have to look for the answer of which is on the coin. And then they have to put that coin in a bucket. And then if they get that correct, that basically releases the seeker. And the seeker then gets a riddle to find the coin above ground.
Right.
So the first one, Biggie is the one who gets oh, I'm sorry, the seekers that they
Uh-huh.
choose from Allie's team is Biggie, and then Mac chooses herself as the seeker from her team. So for the first one, it's Allie's team that gets it first, and Biggie is the one who gets released. And they realize it's something to do with Pinocchio, and so they go into this shop, and he's in there searching, and then finally Mac gets released, and so she goes into the shop, and I feel like
Hmm.
he was being very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Careful.
Yes, careful because it's somebody's store. So he was
Yeah.
like taking his time and trying to like not make a mess. Well, then it's like all bets are off when Matt comes in because then they just kind of
Yeah.
start throwing everything around. And
Yeah, they made a
but
mess of that store. Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like they even showed that because the coin was on this hanging Pinocchio, and I feel like he grabbed
Hmm.
that Pinocchio,
Yeah.
and he didn't realize that the coin was right there on the side. So yeah, Mac is the
Yeah.
one who wins
Yeah.
that
So
round.
much for his observation skills, but
Yeah, yeah, that one went out the door.
yeah.
And so now the second pair in the well, it's their turn to get it. And this time, it's the same. So Biggie gets
Mhm.
released first. It's Allie's team who gets it. And then it's Mac's team. But then he actually does get it.
Well, he actually read the clue and determined that it was going to be an olive tree or something to do with olives, an olive plant.
He
And
was thinking,
whereas,
or no, olive oil, or no,
yeah,
tea. They thought it was tea.
okay, yeah. Whereas Mac didn't really read it. She didn't really solve the riddle. She just
Hmm.
went and started searching.
Yeah, they both thought though it had to do something with tea, so they're both kind of
Hmm.
looking for a shop that had
Hmm.
like the tea leaves or whatever, and it ended up being olive oil or olive plant is where the coin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he knew it. He knew it had to do with the olive, but he
Yes.
just couldn't find the plant. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then they move on to the third set within this mission or challenge, where now it's just the seekers. They have to unlock this a clock tower. So they have
Mhm.
to unlock it, and what they have is a pair of keys in front of them. They're all Roman numerals, and Biggie doesn't know what to do.
Right.
He just starts trying, it looks like, any key, because he's like, I don't know. Where
Yeah,
Mac,
he's lost.
yeah. Mac picks up on the fact that there's an address to the place, and I don't think she knew how to read the Roman numerals, but at least she knew what the
Right.
4 was, so she was looking
Yeah. Get the
first.
last number. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was able to get it first and reach the top. And then we didn't even explain the coins. So the whole point about the team collecting these coins is because the coins represent how many players from the other team they can put into the map room.
Right.
So the goal to get up to the tower or the clock was 3 coins, which meant Mac's team could pick 3 people from the other team to go into the map room. And
Hmm.
the map room is where the people get eliminated because they have to guess where they are at, which is why it's called Destination X, because they don't know where they're
Right.
at. So they go into this map room and they put the marker wherever they think they're at, and whoever is the furthest away is the one who gets eliminated.
Yeah, and also on the coins, there's clues that they don't really pick up on until they get back to the bus. But the host is leaving little clues for them along the way.
Yes, as to where they're at. And I think Jonah
Yes.
is the one who picked up on some of those clues that were in there. He's been quiet basically through this whole episode too, so I feel like, oh, okay, he could be a little more observant and
Hmm.
might pick up things that the other contestants might overlook.
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he did a good job. As far as I mean, I know he got one of the clues wrong, but he still did a good job. He got an important clue out there about the
Hmm.
gladiators, even though his team was clueless
Yeah.
about gladiators.
Yeah, yeah, because they kind of broke off after this whole challenge ended. They kind of broke off into their teams and tried to discuss not only who they wanted to put up, because for Mac's team, they collected 4 coins, so they could put
Hmm.
up 4 people. And then Allie's team collected 1 coin, so they could only put up one person. And so, yeah, they're discussing, who they should put up and also where everyone thinks that they're at right now.
Right. So Mac
Mhm.
and Biggie are, with their respective teams, are sharing information about what they saw as they did each round in the challenge.
Yeah. So then I have that there was kind of a discussion or a mix between either Mulan is where they're at or Rome.
Milan.
Wait, what did I say? Mulan? Like Disney?
Milan. Yeah.
So, so yeah, those are the two places that were being discussed amongst the group. From
Yeah.
Mac's team.
I didn't think. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how they associated gladiators with Milan. Milan's like the fashion capital
Yeah,
of the world, and you don't associate gladiators with Milan.
I don't know either, but I mean, it does get pointed out, at the end that Rick was the one who threw that out, or
Yeah, I know that their Team Mac, they all agreed that they were in Milan, whereas Team Alley, they agreed that they were in Rome. But it was Rick tries to pass some information along,
hmm
to because Josh is one of the ones that is selected, and so Rick apparently was trying to help out Josh and tells
yeah,
him we're in Milan
ends
was
up,
wrong.
yeah, which ends up being wrong. So yeah, they had from Allie's team, the people that had to go up was Shane, Ty, Josh, and Biggie. And the
Hmm.
one person from Mac's team that had to go up was Rachel.
Right.
And so when they get into the map room, this is when they learn that they have 2 minutes to place their marker. It's kind of cool because they like zoom in on the map. And
Hmm.
so they can actually see the cities within that country and then they can place their markers. So the three of them placed Rome, and then it was Rachel and Josh who were the ones that didn't. But Rachel put her marker kind of in between the two, where Josh was completely off
Yeah,
the mark.
she tried to pick somewhere between Milan and Florence. And
Yes, yeah.
Josh was going back and forth between Rome and Milan. But I'm like thinking, if you know your team, all you have to do is just not be the furthest one away.
Hmm.
You know, only one person gets eliminated. So all you have to do is just not be the furthest one away. You don't have to be the closest. So I think his strategy was just wrong. He knew that everybody else from his team was going to do Rome. He knew that the other team, which was going to be Rachel, was going to pick Milan, or, you know, at least
Yeah.
close to Milan. So,
He
yeah,
should
I
have
think
just
he
stuck
just,
with the majority. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, all, you know, he didn't have to be like right in Rome, but maybe a little outside of Rome because he knew everybody else on his team were
Yeah.
going to pick Rome. So he could have just went a little bit outside of Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he went full in Milan.
Yep. Yes. So then, yeah, once the host comes in and he says it's Josh, that's the one that's being eliminated, he gets up and tells everybody not to trust Rick. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens with that. Even Rick's like, "What? What?" Like, "Oh,
Yeah, the
okay."
expression on Rick's face. Well, okay, obviously we're not in Milan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think Josh felt betrayed. I think Rick was being sincere and trying to help him out, and to blame Rick for that, I thought was a little harsh. But poor Rick.
Yeah. I think so too, because I don't think, like you said, I don't think there was any malicious type of intentions there, and but it just didn't work out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it for the episode. Like I said, I have some great expectations for this. I'm hoping it has a good ending. I'm hoping that it continues its momentum throughout each
Hmm.
episode because it does have a lot of potential. There's a lot of things I like about it, especially for gameplay. So
Yeah. I even like
yeah.
the aspect that there's like historical things that are brought up
Hmm. Yeah.
in the different famous areas and or what they're known for, as well as the hidden clues along the way. And then I like that they give those at the very end of the episode of like the different clues that the contestants either missed or picked up on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see also like who is going to try to deceive, who is going to try to strategize with other players, you know, create those
Yeah.
alliances, and who is just going to be out for themselves. I think
Yeah.
it's got a lot of different layers. So,
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of played it being the first episode. I mean, they did lie about the first clue, which didn't even really matter, I feel like, at the
right.
end. But I feel like as time goes on, I don't think they'll be so forthcoming with everything
Hmm.
to everyone. Because
Yeah.
right now they're kind of playing like a team. So
Hmm.
yeah, I am interested to see how that all breaks off and plays out. Yeah. So
So
this is
this is
the
good.
first good episode, and can't wait to see what happens next time. We'll see you guys there.
Yay.